Yesterday's new moon had me thinking a lot about planting seeds for freedom in work, growing prosperity and abundance. So I thought today's reading, what better way to spend the waning energy of this new moon than to do a career reading for the next 3 months or so. Let's just see what this summer is going to bring for anybody who's looking for a career change or advancement. Perhaps you're going into business for yourself. I know the job market is crazy. Trust me, I know. And I know that July is going to be a really powerful month this year. So I think now is the time to take the reins, to take control of your destiny as best you can. And what do we have to lose anyway? That's how I see it. So that's sort of where my head's at. But what I'm hoping is that these cards can give us advice and direction, how to harness that energy and that power. We also have Feihu here pointing us in the direction of prosperity. And let's just see what these first two cards are that fell out. Seven of Swords reversed and Four of Swords reversed. Well, just as I suspected, now is the time to move. You may have been lying in wait. You may have been waiting for what you see as the perfect opportunity to make a move. And either that perfect opportunity is here, or we might want to give up on that hope of waiting for the perfect opportunity and go ahead and take steps in that direction. A lot of times I feel like these opportunities only reveal themselves after you're moving towards them, after you start looking, they're not just going to fall in your lap. Very rarely is that how things happen. Seven of Swords reversed. My first thought is that perhaps you're unhappy in the workplace that you're currently existing in. Perhaps there's some shady business, people you don't trust, coworkers, a boss, somebody trying to go behind your back, get you in trouble, get you fired. That could be the case, or it could just be the case that you think that that's happening, whether or not it really is. It could also be the case that you're just feeling exploited, used, condescended to by your boss, and that is the case in most workplaces in my experience, so that wouldn't surprise me at all if that's how you're feeling. It's reversed, though, and I think the message here is that it's time to let all of that go. I don't know if that means simply, I think it means moving on to something that's going to feel more fulfilling in all of those angles. It's not just a paycheck. It's about finding work that feels dignified for you, that gives you a sense of freedom and gives you a sense of being able to really use your creative skills and abilities. That's going to be really important. With Judgment reversed, I'm also seeing that you're going to have to be really open-minded here. It's so easy to find an excuse not to do something, especially something as scary as quitting your job, going out on a limb, whether it's trying to get hired at a place that you really want to work at. Maybe you've had your eye on it, but you thought, oh, there's no way they're going to hire me. I'm not skilled enough. They're not going to pay me what I'm worth. All these excuses again. Or whether it's going into business for yourself. I mean, what better way to realize freedom, dignity, and fulfillment than going into business for yourself? But that's one of the scariest things that anyone in our society can choose to do, I think. So again, you're going to have to go in with an open mind, because otherwise you're always going to have an excuse why you can't do it. And that's just not going to get you anywhere. That's what's kept you settling for so long with the Seven of Swords. Settling for being treated like shit, being talked to like you're nothing, like you are a cog in the machine. You don't want to feel that way anymore. So you're going to have to open up your mind to new possibilities, to the idea of doing something in a completely different way than you've ever done it before. Okay? And this Two of Cups is really interesting because maybe you don't have to go at it alone. Maybe there's someone in your life or someone coming into your life who's going to be a fated partnership for you, who wants the same things that you want, who has compatible skills and ideas and has a similar vision to what you have. And if you can work together with this person or these people, that's going to take a lot of the weight off, not just in terms of the physical work that must be done, but people bring different types of knowledge to the table, different experiences to the table. And when you pool that knowledge and those experiences, suddenly everything starts to look a lot more possible. The vision you have for your business starts to become a lot clearer and more within reach. Okay, the Eight of Swords here is speaking to both of these cards, the Judgment card and the Seven of Swords, in the sense that you're moving on from that Seven of Swords. You finally had enough, so you don't know where you're going, but you can't stay here. Okay, so I think it's actually very positive, just the fact that you're willing to move even though you don't know where you're going. You're keeping that open mind. You say to yourself, well, anywhere is better than here, right? I just know that I don't want this anymore. That's a step in the right direction. That's a step in the right direction, baby. You're following your intuition. The way she follows this river here, you're following your joy. You're getting away from that which makes you feel bad, and when something makes you feel good, you're going to take it and run with it, wherever it may lead. And I think it's leading to a really happy place, a place of abundance. You can cultivate something new for yourself. Like, this is a sign of your ability to grow something from scratch. The other thing about the Queen of Pentacles energy, as opposed to, say, the Knight of Pentacles or the King of Pentacles, is it's really kind of understated, even slow. It's about building a sustainable ecosystem on every level. So it's about understanding that the, let's say, business that you want to build or career opportunity that you want to step into, it has to be something that is balanced within your life. I think what you've realized over these years of feeling exploited and condescended to in the workplace is you've realized that it isn't sustainable to think of work as something separate from your mental and physical health and spiritual well-being. If you're going to a workplace every day to get a paycheck, but it's killing you inside, like, you think figuratively, but also literally, it is. So this is the time to step away from that and into a workplace environment that feeds your soul, that feeds your emotional and mental health, that moves everything together in a better direction. And here is that fiery energy that I'm seeing. I'm hearing July. July is going to be this time to really make that move. Okay, so there's a lot of mental and emotional work you've already done to let go of the fear associated with the need to have a paycheck to pay your bills. Like, I think you're at your wit's end. You're fed up with that. You know that there has to be some other way because you just can't take that anymore. That's done. Also, you can see, if you're hearing me and understanding me, that there is a possibility of a better future. And what the Knight is telling me is that when you see that moment, you have to seize it. And that moment is happening soon. I mean, it's the middle of July right now, or the middle of June right now. So July is right around the corner. I'm not saying that it has to happen in July. It could happen tomorrow for you. So the most important thing is that when you see it, you seize it. You cannot let that fear get in the way. That's what you've been doing your whole life. And where's it gotten you? Okay, it's time to try something different. Be brave, be courageous. Frankly, how much do you really have to lose? That's an important question. I don't know you. I'm not saying that you don't have anything to lose. So that's a question that a conversation that you have to have with yourself. Maybe you have people who depend on you. Maybe you cannot afford to take a hit. But that doesn't mean that you can't take steps towards independence, freedom, abundance. Your path might just look a little different than, the single 35-year-old man who can pick up and move to a new place to take on whatever opportunity, whatever crazy opportunity that he sees before him. Everyone's got a different story. So whatever that spark is, however small, all that I'm saying is recognize it, grab it, cultivate that spark. Yeah, again, Ace of Wands. That opportunity is coming. That opportunity is here. And it may not be as difficult as you're expecting. That's one of those things that sometimes keeps people making excuses, stuck in excuses, and unwilling to take the steps needed, even though once they take that step, they would realize how capable they are. But it's that fear of failure, that fear of, I want to say hard work, although you're a hard worker. You've been just working to make somebody else rich your whole life. So you just really need to change that mindset. And remember that if you can do it, if you can work for somebody else, then you can work for yourself. And you're going to have creative direction and control and feel fulfilled in a whole entirely new way. So again, be looking for that opportunity, especially in July. And this is a Leo card. I think by mid-August, it may have passed. So the timing of this reading, I do think, is really important. I think this summer is the time to be looking for and taking those opportunities. I'm not saying there'll never be another one, but I'm saying that whatever is coming up in the very near future, the energy is right for you to take it. And do yourself a favor and fucking grab life by the horns.